summer 2025
Yeah.
out the way for us, and it was really good for us as event organisers to be in partnership with you guys this year, particularly with obviously we had Solihull Summerfest,
Yes.
Knoll Party in the Park, more irons in the fire for next year, which we'll talk about. But it was good from our perspective as a promoter to be able to almost feel like we was involved within the process of the security. So I think sometimes, and I won't name other people at any point, but it was good that we kind of got to sit down and know what our expectations of it was, and have someone that we could sit down and go, this is what we expect, and this is, particularly somewhere like Solihull, it's a nice audience, but every audience needs managing.
Of course they do, and it's all about audience profile. And it was great to do Knoll in the Park, and then it was great to do Solihull Summerfest. And as I say, we're very keen next year, obviously, with the announcement with Western, and then obviously going back. But it was great to work with you. We've now been in Solihull 33 years. So in the last few years, becoming patrons of the Chamber, sponsoring Solihull Moors, and obviously working with yourself has been great for us.
I think that's what we needed to. We've worked with various companies, but we also needed to embrace what's going on in the borough. And you're from Solihull, in Solihull Borough, same as we are. So it was good to be able to use.
I think so. And it was great with the Chamber. It was great with yourself. Great with the Moors. And the big thing is now it's going to open more doors. And the great thing in Solihull is keeping it going. Yeah, it really is. And as I said, with Western next year, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
And
nerve-wracking as well at the same time. Now, Western's, and that was an exciting one for us to be able to turn around. And I think it came to you, and I was like, right, we're doing this event, which is synonymously, it used to be referred to as T4 on the beach. That's what we're basically trying to bring back, an event of that stature, of that ilk, of that size. We've licensed it for 40,000 people a day. Solihull Summerfest, we kind of cap at 8,000. Knoll was 5,000. So this is a massive step forward, and obviously it is. We joke about it. It's Birmingham on Sea, so it's our local beach. But I had the conversation with you to say, I'm doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you still provide the guys from down there? And that was good reassurance for us.
Yeah, and we've already started the planning meetings, already been, met with your team. And as I said, the next thing will be going to site and everything else. But with my background, working closely, doing close protection with bands and everything else, doing the festivals, it's understanding the size of it and the demographic and everything else. And I just think it'd be a great event.
You're working it for us.
100%.
Love it. Got the top man.
It's too much, as I said, with all the build up, then the event days, and then to finish and everything else. It's really, and as I said, it's got to be right, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm moving into. I'm going to live there for like 2 weeks.
Penthouse.
I can't say. It's more of a turret.
Right.
It's not on the beach. I've decided to be slightly out in the country. So as I can, it's only 15 minutes out. But it's like you're in the middle of nowhere. And I can kind of be fully immersed on the site, but I can break away at the end of each day and reflect on what the challenges present the next day. But it's a huge job. It's a huge build. Operationally, as you say, and we're dealing with a huge number of artists, and our artist budget. I mean, the artist budget, for example, for this is at 1.6 mil at the million.
Wow.
And Solihull Summerfest cost me 1.3 mil to put on overall with everything.
Wow.
So it's like we'll have quite a few artists to do, quite high caliber. And there'll be artists that will. Again, from your perspective, that they will have people that want to kind of get to them, not in a positive way.
Listen, everyone these days wants a handshake or a photo, and the beauty is, from our point of view, is just making sure everything's secure, everything's tight, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting to see. I mean, that they used to get 45,000 people a day, and so I think. That's what we've licensed it for, whether we get there or not. But, I mean, we're already. The Saturday's only the one on sale. Now we're at 6,500 ticket sales already.
Some of the names they'll draw.
To go.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and because it's Western and it's easy to get to and everything else, it'd be spot on.
Yeah, that's really exciting. So in terms of it, there's quite good seeing like your stuff. Obviously, your profile. It almost felt like in many ways you're a big local company and Man Commercial's done, but it's been quite from we said your profile seemed to go with the boxing event and bringing everyone down to the ring side.
Yeah.
Like that seemed to sort of like did that kind of escalate the number of people that would then want to work alongside?
Yeah,
Not just to get free tickets.
I know you've asked.
But just interesting, like, because that profile's huge, isn't
I think the best way to describe it is that little bit of bread in the fish's mouth.
Yeah.
And what it is, it 100% gets people interested. So we've been trading now 33 years. We've done the boxing on the TV for 27 years. We've done all the bands, etc. That for 28 years. And interesting enough, even with Ocean Colour Scene, who we looked after, we did that big UK tour in 1996. So next year is their 30th year. So the Moseley Shoals album in March is when it come out, and then next December they're doing a big tour. So from our point of view, it seems like that UK tour we did in 1996 is 30 years on, which makes you feel a bit old.
It's quite frightening when you look back. I think we were trying to get the Kooks to do one of our gigs. And I popped to see them at the arena in town the other day, and it was. I'd been to see them when they did the first album at Leamington Spa Assembly Rooms, like kind of Art Deco building, and I was looking at it thinking, he's like 40 something now on stage as a lead singer, but it was a whole new generation of people that was listening to him. I expected them all to be around our age.
But it was surprising. Went to them Oasis shows, and you see kids there who are far too young for Oasis, but they're obviously brought up with the mums and dads and all that. And I think you get that with some of the artists. You'll get artists like Madness and Bad Manners. Some of them young kids are too young.
Yeah, I think that's where I guess the social media side comes in, because obviously something has trended on a platform that's allowed them to have access to the music.
It's just got to be good as well. And it's obviously they're brought up the mums and dads listening to the tunes and all that. So from your point of view, it's a win-win, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, I went to the Kooks thinking, it was our age, right? You're going to pull you in with that, pulling you
close.
And I went and I bumped into a member of bar staff from the Regency who's 18. She's like, Ian, and then all of a sudden I saw these groups of people, probably between 15 and 20, and I'm like, I didn't see this as being the audience. It actually made it quite more exciting for us to promote to go. Yeah. We're attracting these bands were attracting a much wider audience, not being so pigeonholed into being like an older crowd as such.
But it's great, and I think by you changing, like having Ali Campbell on this year, that must have been a great moment.
That's huge for us. I've been trying to get him for 5 years, and it just was never happening. And then I was literally, I messaged his manager, and we get on really well with his manager. I said, no, I'm going to ask again. As Summerfest has just finished the year before, can we make it happen? And he said, I think we can. We need to. And again, with every artist, they want the rest of the lineup to complement them. Yeah. So obviously we pulled in Maxi Priest, we pulled in Bissy McLean, who was local and from Chelmsley Wood that had worked with them and grew up with them. So it was kind of getting the whole day to sit around them. And it was the first day for Solihull Summerfest in our 9 years that we sold out.
Brilliant.
So it was a sellout day, and we could have easily sold more tickets. But it was great to see.
Yeah, and we worked with the original UB42, and they're all together.
As well.
Yeah, late great Brian Travers and Astro, and but Ali was there, and it was great because we even done a show back in the day in Kings Heath in the original pub where they all started. So it was great for us. So to see him come back to the Midlands is great.
Yeah, we've been trying for so long, but it was a great performance. It was a great show. You'd love to be able to get both. I became friends with Brian Travers, bless him, because I did a gig with him in year one of Summerfest, and it was. You almost wish you could try and if you could have resolved the family
bring them back together.
Never going to happen, but it would be so good. But Ali did an incredible job. The audience loved it.
Peter Andre at Noel.
Really random. I mean, it was a real last minute addition because we'd got Scouting for Girls headline. And I was actually looking at putting some money into another event in Kenilworth.
Right.
And one of our office, Danny said, what about not doing that. What about throwing some more money into Noel
Yeah.
to try and put a bit more celeb factor
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it and attract some people? He went, what you really want to attract, he said, is like the Noel ladies, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
And I went jokingly, what about Peter Andre? And he was like, exactly, Peter Andre.
Yeah.
And he got a gig on the night in London. And I said to him, look, I really wanted to do this gig. He said, but I'm busy on the night. I went, don't even want you at the night. What I actually wanted was everyone to get in that site as early as possible.
Yeah.
Start enjoying the day. You know,
Yeah.
the bars will run better.
Yeah.
They'll do better. The street
Yeah.
food vendors would do better.
Yeah.
And it was obviously a lovely day. And so I think we had him on at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but it kind of really set the tone. I mean, later on that day, Rick Parfitt Jr., he absolutely smashed it. He's so good. And I don't know. I always feel sorry for any act that's ever going to
follow him. Yeah,
because you literally, how do you?
Yeah, well, it's like when Oasis were on tour, they just had Richard Ashcroft as a support band, and he's like a headliner on his own.
Yeah, really good. I mean,
so it takes a big band then to go further.
Yeah, so I think, I was pleased with Peter Andre. He's love him or hate him. He as soon as we announced it, we sold 400 or 500 tickets overnight.
Yeah, you would do.
So we know we'd made the right decision.
Mums, isn't it?
Yeah, they do come. and then equally backstage, even though he was in a rush to go to London, he'd remembered me from a gig years back. Brilliant. Yeah, and he was like, "How you doing here? Who do I need to say hello to?
Yeah,
anyone you want me to? Any of your staff you want me to go do a picture with?" And there's like, he gets it. Like, you know, he goes out, he does the work, he grafts, and he's a genuinely nice person. So
be Robbie Williams you'll be after next.
I am trying all the time. I literally am trying. Obviously, our friends.
You might have to remortgage your house.
Yeah. We spoke about things, but not for Summerfest, but like a football stadium.
We did shows with him when he left Take That, and he originally come back. And one of the first shows he did was Aston Villa Leisure Centre. That's when he had the bleach blonde hair. And that time he'd been to Glastonbury, where he tried to join Oasis.
Yes, so he became really good pals. As well. Yeah, we've done with Carl Brazil, my friend. He's the drummer and he's musical director. So we spent quite a bit of time down there. It's quite actually a funny story. The one day they were doing the filming for Better Man, the movie, and it was when his dad was on stage at the Albert Hall, and they'd filmed "Swing When You're Winning," but they hadn't filmed the audience reaction. So they basically got everyone to come down just to record the audience reaction. So they'd have a standing ovation and stuff. Which even that you when you've not seen it before, like Robbie's performing on stage and people are trying to stand up. Well, actually, no, you've got to remain seated for standing ovation to work. So it's really weird, like constantly everyone sat down waiting for the opportunity to stand up. But because Swing When You're Winning was a black tie event, Carl had invited me down. I just jumped in the car. I've got Timberland boots on, jeans, and a t-shirt, pretty much what I normally wear like the time. And I got there and I saw his black tie. So I phoned Carl outside and said, "Mate, I'll just go back to Birmingham." He went, I said, "Sorry, I forgot to tell you." So we ended up, I wore the guitarist shirt, Carl's jacket. So I've got a black shirt and a black jacket. So as that part of me was all right for the video. But then I'm walking around the Albert Hall in jeans and Timberland boots. I was never been so embarrassed. And then as I got back to security at the end of the stage door, I said, "Give this to the guys." And he said, "Well, you've got like a wristband on, so you're not going to come down for drinks in the artist bar." I said, "Well, to be fair, it's done now. So, okay, I'll come down." And as I walked in, it's the first time I'd actually met Robbie. He looked at me and he went, "Who are you?" Because there's only about 30 of us in the room. I said, "I'm Ian, Carl's mate." He went, "Oh, I know who you are." But you're the one that 5 minutes before I'm due to go on stage at the Royal Albert Hall, we're trying to find you something to fucking wear. I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And in fairness, though, he said, "I know whose fault it was." And then he just laughed, and then we kind of like hugged each other.
Well, that's got to be the hook to get him.
Yeah, and we had this conversation, and he's, you know, again, and I think he's just recently gone in the press about it. His stage persona shows one of incredible confidence. He's just hiding so many insecurities and battles that he's got going on. He cried twice on the stage that night. I was so emotional the whole night because he'd got his family there, he'd got his wife, his children were there, and it was really good to see that side and be able to have a real honest conversation with him. It's like everyone, everyone's probably got something going on in the background, and it was really nice to be able to be involved in that.
I still think it'd be a few quid to get him though.
Yeah, it's more than my entire budget for all the acts. Yeah, let's. But
so, what are you most looking forward to about Western?
I think more than anything, it's pushing the boundaries of what we've done before, and so it'll be
comfort zone.
Yeah, it's totally out of your comfort zone. Yeah, we used to doing 5,000-10,000 events.
Local.
Yeah. This is, and I think that's one of the things that for me I needed a challenge.
Yeah.
That like I don't. How many more events can I do in Solihull before people are really fed up of me?
Yeah.
It's like saying it's like I wanted to do something else. We was actually approached by Western Supermare to do it. It wasn't something that they put the opportunity.
Well, that's
forward.
massive kudos, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they'd come to Summerfest, Solihull, and they said, "Can you roll out your brand?
If you get recommendations in work, it's the best thing."
Yeah, I think so. I think with this one, I think more than anything, it's going to be seeing that again. It's a bit solid. You've got this empty field. This is an empty beach.
Yeah.
And over the 7 days, we're going to build a site. We're going to fence it in. We're going to put in all the tents, all the main stage. It's going to be an incredible transformation. Yeah. I think when that first artist strikes up on stage, and I'm normally at the back of stage at that bit before I sit in my office all the time.
Praying for the weather.
Yeah, but it'd just be great just to look out and see 20, 30, 40,000 people.
Different class.
And it's going to be really exciting and life-changing, I think, for me and the team.
The team,
I mean, we're trying and we're talking. I've got a meeting with someone in a couple of weeks in London. We're trying to get it all documented.
Right. Okay.
And I think to show people what goes on behind the scenes.
What, like a docu thing, like a Netflix?
Yeah, exactly. Netflix would be the dream to get it on there.
Absolutely.
But, Channel 4 might be interested because it's like the site that was T4, Sky Arts or People. Now, I actually think this is going to be a really interesting watch. Could be a 2 or 3 part. The highs, the lows, the prisoners, the stresses,
all the things that go on behind the scenes.
Yeah, so I think so we're trying to either way. I think we'll document it, but I think if we can get it out there into the public domain, one, I think it will be good TV.
If you watch on Netflix the Matchroom documentary, that's what that's about. It's everything behind the scenes. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that. I mean, I was quite. I suppose part of it, even though I'm a Villa fan and you're baggish, but
the Blues one.
I watched the Blues one, and it was a good watch.
Good,
and I thought, and that kind of made me think. I think what goes on in the background, people would love to see.
I think so. Certainly, if they've got anything involved with the industry or anything involved as a punter, 100% they'd want to see.
Because nothing. Obviously, everything changes as well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But your industry, our industry. It's like on that day when it's running all the build up, it's a moving everything to move into target.
Yeah, and it's all that planning and it's all that in them are the things that people don't see behind the scenes, the planning and making sure everything's done.
I mean, you've been involved now in the planning meetings with a guy called Abs, and I have to leave a lot of my team to do it, but I'll look back and I'll go and see. And if say we get 35,000 people, how do you get 35,000 people in that site?
So your responsibility.
So you go, and then all of a sudden, we worked out the other day we need exactly 25 lanes. You've got to go a certain way, and it's so there's so much that people probably never see that goes on. Particularly all the health and safety stuff at the background, all the security stuff.
It's like when we do the boxing on the TV, if they watch and it's say 10 o'clock on a night time and it's the main event, we're at the venue at like 12 o'clock. And then you've finished and you've got another 2 hours after, and people don't see that.
How many steps do you do in a day?
I did
It was me that good.
Last Saturday I did the O2, Fabio Wardley and Josie Parker fight, and it was 28,000 steps. But at the end of the day, it keeps you going.
Yeah,
100%.
Exciting.
I think there'll be more at Western.
Yeah, I mean, the plan is anything I tend to do it's either a 5 or 10 year project in my head. There's no point doing it for 1 year.
No,
because as well with some of these things, I truly, it's budgeted and scheduled to cover all its costs and make money. But sometimes when you're getting something off the ground initially, it doesn't. There's a level of investment.
Absolutely.
Solihull Summerfest has been a prime example of that. It took years before it covered its costs.
Then you got COVID in the middle.
That didn't help.
Did not know.
No one wanted any of my events during COVID.
It's hard with social distance.
Probably that industry is probably one of the hardest hit because we were literally
anything.
We we couldn't put events. I think it's actually one of the reasons I came out and I did a bit of DJing afterwards, because the only thing we could do was these sit down brunches,
Absolutely,
and I just needed to be out of the house. So
Yeah,
I'd just go along and sit there.
People were going mad, weren't they?
Yeah, so it was. But yeah, it's there's a lot of investment goes in, but I think over the years we've kind of got a model now where we kind of understand like how we need to achieve to cover the costs.
Looking at it, you've got a proper team in place now.
Yeah.
In the early days, it'd have been yourself, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it was me, Sarah, like the two of us, like jumping in amongst it, in amongst other jobs.
Of course.
Well, like, trying to do everything else.
Yeah.
Now there's
big
like
risks.
No, it's not a huge team. It's 9 people that work for us that we like constantly on it, like literally that full time.
Yeah, so then you're going to have dedicated partners as you grow and everything else, because there's so much going on.
And I think that's with the beach. That's why we align and go, right, we're gonna use Abs who does all that. We're gonna use you guys to do security. We're and I think you
trusted partners.
That, in my mind, like are the best in the business for us to be able to confidently move forward.
Absolutely,
because as I say, it's all ultimately on my head.
Yes.
I don't know what I do. Could have done
You couldn't take the pay cut.
I'm going to get back on the doors. I used to work the doors on a Friday and DJ on a Saturday, and then I enjoyed the door more in many ways, but the DJing paid me more.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot safer. As well, and then equally, but it became quite a social thing. And I'd go and DJ. All my friends would come. And it was fun. I was being paid to party. It was like this. Like life can't get much better. But then obviously all your friends disappear. They get married. They have kids. And then I'm rocking up on my own. I'm getting older and older. And then you're going into these venues, and it's just become a job.
See, back in the day when I was at Liberties and all that, when the DJ cut, they must have had about 10 record boxes.
And it was proper record boxes, like you literally the shoulders on. She was massive in them days if you was a DJ. Like so, you couldn't part. But I remember carrying them across some money across the Broad Street. Like my shoulders would be killing by the time I got to the car park.
It's all like a stick now, isn't it?
Memory sticks, yeah. I mean, some people say vinyl is quite a cool thing to do. I think the visual of it, but most of it's memory sticks in CDJs. But also, generally, sometimes people have become different. You're not left often to your own accord to go and DJ. People they want a song on, they want it now. They think they know better.
You don't hear as much about them celebrity DJs. When we started doing Creamfields back in the day, it was all that Pete Tong and all of them. They were all celebrities, weren't they?
Yeah, I think they just do, and I don't blame them. You do a festival gig where you're on a big stage and you're away from everyone, and you can just go and do I think some of those guys will have a pre-programmed set. Like I never did, but like it was more like I'd play a song and then I'd see how it reacted, and then I'd flick through the records to get what we're going to play next, and you'd kind of judge it from there. But the DJs are good enough to read a room to play without someone from the audience needing to tell them.
Audience profile, isn't it?
Yeah. And some of them, like Trevor Nelson's a prime example. Like he'll go and do a gig, and he'll as for the promoter, he would deliver what's expected of him, which is big floor fillers. You Luther Vandross, never too much. Whereas some of the audience that come round, they're wanting to dig out rare classics, but that won't fill the dance floor. That won't create a great night. So I think it's good to see some of the named DJs who kind of really delivers. There's value for money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was really good with for us with Noel Party in the Park. It was the first event that we worked on together. And I think when we come and sat down at the office and we spoke, one of the things I really wanted for everyone was that the security firm be really visible.
Correct.
Like I think sometimes, like we felt that like previously, like they were kind of in the background, and people want to be reassured of everything.
More covert.
And I think whilst it didn't need to be forceful in any manner, there needed to be a good visual site presence on site, and so it was kind of really good to go through all of the different elements, and in terms of, I suppose, for us, it was, we've got all the more, and you probably know them, you do know them better
Yeah,
than I do.
yeah.
That's why we work together. But obviously, it's not just the entry for people. It's not just there's backstage security going on. There's making sure that our staff are safe.
Ticket checks, passage checks, making sure people aren't smoking, making sure the perimeter's safe, making sure people aren't getting over the fencing. And the big thing with our vast experience over the years is being able to share best practice.
Yeah.
So come to you, and as I said, that's why we had the meetings in advance. That's why this year was special for us to do it, to be able to show you what we do. So a lot of the stuff that we've gained, as I said, I've worked in 33 countries doing security and everything else and picking up different bits and pieces. So from our point of view, it's just that knowledge.
Yeah, it's really good. And I think even from our perspective, we were always really mindful of costs.
Of course.
Because obviously we need the events to cover and pay for themselves, for them to continue. And sometimes I think you find maybe in the past I'm trying to save some money there.
Yeah.
And then it was good sometimes to, on the day we was partnered and we was working with Scott on that day, and we go along and go, right, actually, in hindsight, I would probably put an extra couple of guards in that position next year.
Well, the beauty is to do a post debrief and then work it out, document it, then you've got it all. But as I said, with ABS for Western, we'll do numerous meetings prior, whether it's Teams, face-to-face, at the end of the day to plan, because it will move on the day. And that's why it's always good to have some flex where you can put people to beef up certain areas or reduce areas. Like with the ticket queues, for instance, it's busy once everyone's in. Once everyone's in, then you redeploy them staff to better areas.
Yeah, that works really well, in particularly in Knoll.
But it's experience.
You've
got the experience. You've had previous companies, and like from our point of view, it's been able to just demonstrate what we do.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a perfect example with the entrance. You have 5,000 people all coming in at a similar time, and then once they're in, you don't need as many staff there. But actually, then what we do need is additional staff patrolling the site.
Correct.
And I think probably people don't often see that there are response teams, patrol teams going around. Yeah. It's not just a static guard. It's constantly manoeuvring.
You look at Summerfest with the cabanas and all that. The last thing you want is if somebody's paid for a cabana, for other people to be in there. So from that point of view, the ticket checks, making sure everything's correct, making sure people aren't smoking, making sure the backstage areas secure, making sure any type of pit area, making sure it's correct.
Keeping me safe.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, VVIP.
in my little cabin. Has anyone seen Ian?
I don't want you getting chinned.
I've never seen an event yet. I've never come out of my cabin. Yeah. So obviously it was quite an exciting year for me after 2024 had surpassed, and then basically I took over 100% ownership of the business and the event again, and that kind of gave me the chance then to think, well, what does that look like for me? And it was, if I'm honest, one of the reminders of why we ended up working together was I was on the board for Solihull Chamber, and we had the Solihull Chamber Awards night. You were sat at the back, assuming you wasn't going to win any.
Correct. Couldn't have been further away.
Literally won everything. Yeah. You did a lot of steps on that day, backwards and forwards. But for me, that was a sudden reminder that was like, I know Ian McCallister.
Light bulb moment.
This is a reputable local company.
Absolutely.
We need to talk.
Well, you contacted me. And you contacted me. We'd done a TV boxing show, Joshua and Dubois, a big fight. And you texted me the next day and said, listen, we need to have a meet. Had a meet, discuss what you just said, and at the end of the day, put it together.
Yeah, so it's good sometimes these things that they could be staring you in the face and you just don't. In hindsight, why did I never, 10 years ago?
But everything's about timing.
Isn't it? But I think the timing of it was perfect, and it was almost like it was presented.
And to be fair, going back to the chamber, I think they've been great for us, and they've probably been great for you.
Certainly been. I was on the board for 4 years there, and it was, I would still be there if I wasn't so having to. The investment in the beach meant I had to give 100% of the business. Everyone needed me there, and it's not to say I'll never go back.
Not at all.
But I'm still there, 100% supporting them. Still like to have a big involvement with them, and they are good. They open up doors and opportunities. It puts you in. Sometimes just got to be within the right audience.
I think so.
Shoulder to shoulder with the right people.
I think so.
And I think they are. They're a good platform. I think sometimes some of the different business groups, you've always you get out what you put in.
I think so.
There's a lot to be said
Absolutely.
in there, but this one really works.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
It works to make sure
Yeah.
that you're doing the work
Yeah,
as well,
I think
in
so.
order to get the best out of it.
We're proud to be patrons.
Yeah.
Yeah, really are.
That's exciting. And and I'm grateful of that event that made it like, just,
Like
this
all.
is it.
Yeah.
Why aren't we?
Absolutely.
Why aren't we working
It
together?
worked great for both of us.
Yeah.
That LinkedIn's done great for us, you know.
Do you know, I know it's the place to be, but because I know I've just took on a guy who full time now looks after my social media, everything.
Yeah.
Is I spend so much, over just for myself, like the amount of messages I get across Instagram and Facebook, so I didn't want another platform, and I get odd messages, and that's where Just Eat
But
came from.
85% of B2B business is done through LinkedIn.
Doesn't surprise me. The amount of people that message me on there. National Express about they do the public transport from Glastonbury.
Yeah.
They want to do it for the beach. They're all finding us on there. I've just got to spend some time on it and probably just park posting gym selfies. That's probably like maybe people
Before and afters.
Yeah, no, there's no afters. It's all the same.
Yeah,
like, exactly the same. But I just post a selfie to go. Because otherwise, you haven't been.
Oh, right.
Can't go to the gym and not post a selfie.
That sounds like
COVID.
Pretty good at the same thing.
Yeah, I've got a library of them. Sometimes I post them when I'm just sat in the lounge.
Yeah.
We've obviously got a lot going on next year with the events.
Be exciting.
It is exciting. Knoll, Solihull Summerfest, the beach, I've got Canwell show.
Yeah.
There's other events that we're talking about. Western is the key one.
There's a few you can't talk about.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to, maybe off camera, or at some point maybe we'll have
or do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again and have a chat when I can kind of share a lot more of the detail about what we've got.
Absolutely.
planned.
Look forward to
cool.
it. That'd be great.
Cheers,
Good to see it.